quarantine has made me look worse than I normally do. We're doing car stuff today. Here in my garage.
Here in my garage. 47 Volkswagen Golfs in my Volkswagen.
No, 47 Volkswagen Golfs so we can have one running Golf.
Yeah.
This is Phil's car actually. It's a, what year is it?
95.
It's a 1995 Mark IV GTI Golf with a VR6 swap.
Over. Oh God, you actually did. Why do I look? Oh my God.
So Phil needs to do brakes. I'm kind of proud of him. This car has probably been sitting for the last year.
6 months, 6 or 7 months. I
Well,
think was the longest.
it's probably been okay, when did you buy the Honda? He has a hybrid too as a daily. This is his turned into his fun car. When did you buy the hybrid? No, come over here.
20.
That's a true height difference, guys.
So 2 years.
2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
This thing, basically, I would go to his house and pick him up to go to CES and stuff. And this thing was just sitting there covered in cobwebs. And I used to be like, dude, drive your car, it's gonna rot. He's like, no, there's spiders in it.
Yeah, no, I literally got an exterminator because I'm arachnophobic. And then
He sprayed the car?
Dude, it was one of the most gratifying moments to just watch him just go.
Yeah, and I guess the 67, which is sitting right out there, kind of inspired him to get this thing back in on the road. He drove it to work yesterday. So, oh dude, you were telling me about the sunroof and how you just...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You go to college and you're just like, well,
Okay,
I got a
so
solution.
like I said, I had a 92 Z28 Camaro that had T-tops on it, and even with brand new seals, and even with the Lexan tops, or no, the true glass tops, the Lexan tops were known to leak. I had original glass tops, it still leaked. Phil said he just filled his sunroof in with like silicone caulk, and that's what, I never saw it.
Dude,
oh my God.
Because one time in LA, it was like raining like crazy, and I made a left turn, and all the water that was trapped in the sunroof just poured onto my face. And I was like, all right, I'm
That's
done
what
with
she
this.
said. All right, Phil's gonna do his brakes, and I'll show you guys what I'm gonna do to the Camaro. So, my car, I showed you all the colors it used to be. One of the things I did was I took off the chrome trim rings around the fenders because I hate that. But you can see in there, all the yellow paint. It's probably kind of dark, but there's yellow paint in there because this car used to be yellow. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna actually Brillo pad that, and then I'm just gonna spray that black. That way it all matches. But the reason why Phil is saying, talk about the paint, is we both have black cars that used to be red. Because remember I showed you, look at the red right there. That's prep work right there, baby. But my car originally was red. This car originally was red, and they both have terrible black paint jobs. So,
I think mine might be a little bit more terrible than yours.
Maybe.
But you said maybe. Wow.
My 50
my car credit or yours.
My 53-year-old car is in better shape than this 20-year-old car.
You notice this fender's shinier, right? This is the junkyard fender. Literally, a junkyard fender was better than the Earl Scheib job, dude.
Hey, but at least you got real TEs.
Yeah.
It also drips more fluid than my 67.
I think it's also important to say that it also has 309,000 miles, so I'm kind of amazed that it's even alive at all.
Mine only has 2,800.
Wait, it's 10 times the mile.
It still drips from the transmission.
That's amazing.
All right, let's go ahead and let's start working on some cars. So one of the things that I ordered yesterday for the 67 is all new suspension. So it's all new BMR front A-arms, coils, all new hardware, body mounts, springs, shocks. Oh, I already said coils, shocks. Obviously, with the new ball joints come new bushings and new, or some of you call bushes, and what else? Ball joints. And then for the rear, I'm ditching. It's got Hotchkiss rear springs in there, which are way too stiff and way too tall. So I'm replacing those. I'm actually going with Calvert rear springs. They're going to be a monoleaf spring. And we are going to be running also Calvert traction arms, and then shocks and relocating brackets and all that sort of stuff. So one of the things we'll be doing before we put horsepower in this car is taking care of the chassis. Because if you put a lot of horsepower to a weak chassis, it twists and bad things happen. Fortunately, this car already has subframe connectors in it, but they are they're bolt-in. I don't really want to go weld in until we know everything's where we need it to be, because when you bolt in subframes, you start to block access to certain things, like some under seat bolts and stuff for the car. And I might end up changing these seat brackets because they are aftermarket and they do have sliders and they sit kind of tall. I'm a tall guy, so I want to see if Planted or any other bracket companies make a lower bracket. If not, I'll probably take it to the same guy that made the custom brackets for my 370Z to get my racing seat sitting on the floor for this as well. So it's kind of funny. The interior space in the car in terms of knee room, way more than I have on the 2018. But in terms of headroom, it's kind of less, which is weird. So the real question is going to be, how far are you going to get before you ask?
Before I ask you a question, I'd say, I'll guess 80, 90%.
Dude, did you get more cross drilled, bro?
No.
You just got blanks?
I got a
drill.
God. Wait, why is this not locking?
Because you got to loosen the nut.
I did.
All the way.
It fell out.
There, now put it in. You couldn't get the jack ready
I
to
have
go.
the cheaper ones that you just go and then bayonet it, so. Okay, there.
Oh God, there's still spider eggs hanging down.
Yeah, but they're all dead.
Ew. Are you jacking on the pitch weld?
Yeah.
That's where. Okay.
Well, I mean, the pinch weld it's flattened anymore. It's
I
flattened
was like,
over
yeah, you got a bit of an arc going under there.
Yeah, because that's where everyone jacked this car up before it got to me. It was flat by the time it got to me, so I was like, okay, whatever.
Your car. Somehow your coils. Wait, coil. You don't have coils. I was like, your coil's gonna pop out and hit us, but you have airbags.
Which
Airbags for the airhead. It's actually pretty steep. It's pretty stiff. Your rear's coming up. Your rear's coming up before the front's. And your jack is forward.
Yeah.
Either the car's twisted or really stiff. Nice drawers. Plaid's a good color.
What? Oh, those?
No, your drawers.
My drawers?
Your. Those.
Oh. Drawers? Wow. Fucking, when were you born? 1910? Drawers? You actually said
That is not a 1910 term. It was clearly 1990s. Going to get a fan. Phil's already sweating and he hasn't even got the car in the air yet. How's this shot? Have fun editing this one, Phil. You're an old car guy. You carry toolbox with you at all times.
Yep.
I got one in
and
the
a
back
AAA card.
I got one in the back of the 67. Well, it's actually right here on the ground now. You're using it on this car. So the first thing I got to do right now on the 67, nothing exciting today. I already showed you. I'm just going to paint that inner trim. Probably the same Krylon Fusion paint we've been using all along. People are going to be like, oh my God, what are you doing? No. Guys, the paint job's terrible. Watch the first video. It definitely gets me by to where it's not a priority. So I can do all the horsepower mods, the engine, the transmission, the rear end, new drive shaft, all new suspension, like I said. We're gonna get the car running perfectly. Then we're gonna worry about auto body probably next year. But in the meantime, I'm not too concerned about it because when we paint it, it's coming down to metal. Said it a million times, and I'm gonna keep saying it. The thing I'm having a hard time deciding on right now, and Phil and I have gone back and forth on this a million times, is wheel tire combination. So this does not have a mini tub. I might mini tub it when we do all the body work. I'm not gonna do a lot of custom stuff to the body. I'm gonna have all the trim deleted. I'm gonna have it body matched. I'm gonna have the drip rail shaved. I don't ever plan on driving this car in the rain. Worst case scenario, if it ever does find itself in the rain, I just won't roll the windows down. I do have air conditioning in the car, so that's fine.
Lucky.
Oh, that's right. He when he did the VR swap and the accident and all that stuff, he just, well, we won't talk about Phil's accident. That was before my time hanging out with him, but he rear-ended someone on the freeway.
I rented a Beamer.
He rear-ended a BMW. Oh man, that's blue on blue. Anyway, I'm gonna have a lot of the trim and stuff in this car deleted and flushed and look nice. And we might do a mini tub then, just so I have it. Just so I have the flexibility of going with a fat tire in the back if I want. The biggest I could ever go on this car with its current condition and a fender roll, which it doesn't have, and I would do today if I had the fender rolling tool that attaches to the hub and you can roll it, and I would do relief cuts and all that. There's two reasons why I'm not doing that right now. One, but the biggest tire I could fit with all that would be a 275. I would love to go with like a 305 in the back. Just big, fat. You know how big 305s would look on this car?
Yeah, because of the size.
Small cars had small wheel wells. They did, remember this car came factory with 14s and 15s were an option. 215s like all around was like stock. But we're running a 245 in the back, way too skinny. I want to run like a 245 in the front and a 275 in the back, which will look huge on this car. But what I started to say and got sidetracked a couple times is we don't know exactly what bodywork was done to this car. So if I did relief cuts in that inner fender, which sticks in like a lot, and then start to try and roll it, if there's Bondo on the outside of that edge and we try and roll that, it's gonna crack and break that Bondo. Then I'll have a situation where I'm gonna be doing body work sooner than I want to. Yeah, wheel and tire combo, I'm thinking I'm gonna go back down to a 15, just go with some fat tires, drag radials in the back, a skinnier tire up front, not a skinny, not like a 4.5 inch, but a skinnier tire. Maybe it's something like what's on there now. It's only got a 215 on the front right now. I think I said in the other video I had 225s on the front. I was wrong, it's 215, which it's like skinny but still handles. and I think would still give us that real muscle car look with the big drag radial in the back and a street size tire in the front. Wheels are an expensive thing to get wrong. If you decide like, oh crap, the fitment's wrong or I don't like it, I mean, you're talking a lot of money just to start over, and I don't want to do that. So I have been going all over the internet trying to find all the information I can about what fits and what I like. And the thing is, I'll get set on 15s and go, oh, I really like that setup. It looks dope. It looks old school. Then I'll find someone that did like 17s or 18s that looks really good too. And it's like, man. So what I think I might do is old school until we do the mini tub. Once the mini tub is on there and we do the body work, I might have them pull the front fenders. That's where you slice the fender down the middle, make it wider, and then weld in pieces and make like a wide body for it. Then I might run like a 255 or 265 up front and like a 305 in the back, and then make it maybe like a pro touring type of deal. So that's why I'm saving body work to the very, very end.
I got this car in 07, and then I didn't get wheels until probably 2012, 2013, so yeah. I took my time on picking which wheels I wanted to get for this car.
And he went with CE37s, OG ones.
The Axis of Evil.
Oh God, it's
Because it's Japan, India.
What's Italian in this car?
What the hell? Probably whatever catches fire eventually.
It's a Mamma Mia. Did you ever curb these wheels?
Yeah, one of them.
Oh, okay.
I was parallel parking and I was backing in, and then I also was staring at a chick's ass. And then
It always happens when backing in.
target fixation.
Did she see you hit the curb?
I don't know. I got too embarrassed and I looked away.
Look,
Have you done it?
have I ever had someone stare at my ass and crash? Yes.
No, I mean, have you?
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that as annoying as some chicks are, like, guys are always hitting on me and stuff. It would probably be a little rite of passage to be like, I caused a car crash.
Yeah.
I've caused car crashes, but not for anything fun. So, for those that are wondering, this is a stud / lug conversion. Initially, this car had lug bolts, not lug nuts, but this is a conversion to turn it into lug nuts. So you can see it's just a nut on a bolt.
And before you guys roast me, previous owner did that first.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't want to do this? Just safety?
But the thing is, to run wheels that are not hub-centric, you have to do them anyway, so. Hey, tire shops, look, I did turn the end of it by hand so I don't scratch the wheels.
So it doesn't fall out and drop and hit? I've done that to my own wheels and it sucks.
Yeah, and I've seen so many people just.
My T's got messed up before on the 370 before they were painted. After they were painted and I had them recoated and refreshed, yeah, I was pretty anal about that. So like my impact sockets that I use on my wheels for like the 2018, the ZL1 and all that, I actually have tape around it, like a whole bunch of tape around it, so that if it does make contact with the wheel, it's not going to be metal on metal.
What the fuck is it called? The connector? The push to
Don't
connect?
make that motion on this channel.
The push to connect.
Oh.
So we were gonna do it at Jay's house because tools.
Oh no, I did a bad start.
Learn to carburetor. We decided to do it in the studio because it's nice to work on carpet, work on a car on carpet, but we got stuck already because. Focus, you fuck. This nut is a 15 millimeter bolt on the back. And Jay's tool kit doesn't have a 15 millimeter box wrench. So he went to AutoZone to go get a 15 mil box wrench because German car. A little bit more history on this piece of shit right here. I picked it up in 2007 off a buddy of mine's on the third owner with 147,000 miles on it. It now has 309,000 on the body. Around 2010, I did the VR6 swap. We pulled it out of a Passat, a B3 Passat with 230,000 miles on the motor. We rebuilt most of the motor, not the internals, but we did the cooling, the exterior, the accessories and stuff, not counting AC, because I stupidly thought that the AC for the 4-cylinder, like the AC system, would route up the same, but all the plumbing is different and everything. Hence my decision to just be like, all right, screw AC, I don't need it. I've owned it. I told myself I was gonna sell it if I ever crashed it, and then I crashed it, and then we fixed it for freaking $200 and some junkyard parts and a donated grill. And then after that, it was just like, all right, well, I guess I'm stuck with her now. So that's the sort of janky false floor setup that I have in the car to hold all the air ride goodies. So here's the air tank. And then underneath this panel, you see that seam right there, underneath this panel is where the air manifold is, the compressors. I got dual 440s in here, but this is the oldest Kenwood amplifier known to man. And I said I'd replace it when it broke, and it's still going strong. This here, all the way under, and then all the way to the actual floor of the trunk is the subwoofer box. It's mounted inverted to give a little bit more space because we didn't really have too much space to work with as far as the subwoofer box goes for a 12-inch, because I still wanted to be able to use some of this trunk space even after I got the air ride system. You know those people that are into like torture and like pain and stuff? Maybe that's why I've owned a Volkswagen for 13 years.
For the record, Phil tried to put his pads in the caliper without the pad carrier in there.
At least I figured out my mistake before I...
He figured it out and went like, was about to go put the pad in it. And he realized like, oh wait. Meanwhile, I'm over here talking shit when I came up with a better solution to do the fender paint on my car. Hey, it's inside the fender, it doesn't matter. Okay, so here's the deal. I started to, as you can see, I started to mask it. And I don't want to take the wheels off, so I was gonna and I know the color and it's all blown out, but anyway. You know, just turn the wheel and then you can get to the inside just fine. The rear is a little bit of a different story. But then I was kind of curious, like, I don't want to spray because I'm starting to get worried about overspray. Because although the paint is garbage, I just kind of gave this thing a wipe down. Dude, there are so many fish eyes. There are so many runs, cracks. This paint is awful, but like I've already said, it's good enough to where I'm not gonna look at the car and every time I see it, I'm just like, oh man, like if it were just like actually a primer job would be kind of old school and cool too. But anyway, all I need is the inside of that fender lip to be black. And I did a test piece in the other side where the sun is shining, because I'm like, okay, it might look good in the shadow, but in the sun, how's it gonna look? Well, let's show you. You probably can't tell by looking at this, but all of this black right here is the Sharpie, and it's not rubbing off in my hand. And I left some of the yellow there so you could see, but from there, my finger to there, to right there, all that black you see is Sharpie. The yellow came all the way to the edge, and it's not rubbing off. And the thing is, I did such a poor paint job that they didn't sand in here, so it's kind of a rough, slight orange peely texture. It just matches perfectly. Here, let me show you. This is how we get rid of yellow paint, yellow paint, yellow paint. This is how we get rid of yellow paint when you can't, when you don't have a body shop. Look at that. I am embarrassed at how well this is working. There. I am really embarrassed at how well that worked. So I did it all the way around, did a couple of coats, doesn't rub off. We're gonna see how it holds up obviously to road grime, but it's better than looking at yellow chipped paint. In fact, the other side's in the sun and it was really yellow. So there's a few other things I need to get for this. It's missing the battery hold down, so this just flops around. So we zip tied a piece of rubber there, because that's the positive, not the negative. So if it bounces up and hits the body,
Wait.
that's the negative. So if it bounced up and hit the body, we're gonna be relocating this to the trunk anyway. But yeah, so we are, you know what's funny? The paint under here in the fenders doesn't look terrible. Like I feel like when I get it painted, I think we can leave this. Like I don't think I need them to paint the engine bay. My cross member doesn't look great, but that's part of the front subframe. So unless I plan on pulling out the whole subframe and powder coating it, that's gonna stay. But yeah, so some things that I ordered for this car. I ordered a complete grille replacement. This grille is broken right here. It's all, and then it's pushed down here because there's a little bit of an impact here. There's a dent. I gotta push this up some. I'll be taking the bumper off, but I got all new housing, the top piece, the bottom piece, the grille, the bezels around the headlights because it's all messed up and looks ugly. So that's gonna all be changed. I might paint all this black though, like no chrome. So I'm thinking about doing that because like I said before, I am trying to de-chrome this car as much as possible. I ordered a new chin spoiler, this one. Two things. One, it's all broken along the top because they clearly hit something and then they zip tied it in. And then two, it doesn't have any of the support structure. So when I'm on the freeway, it's like, I also ordered a complete suspension kit replacement. So we're talking upper arms, lower arms, springs. I already said that. I think I already told you guys all that. But yeah, front to rear, all new suspension going in this thing. So yeah, you'll get some videos about the suspension install, the grille install. I'm getting the new corner windows like we already talked about. And I think one thing I'm gonna play around with next is maybe the steering column. to see if I can get that shifter thing figured out. I was worried that was going to be a big problem if for some reason that was broken. Like, how am I going to get another one? There are so many OER or OE replacement, is what OER stands for. There's OER, which is OEM replacement, or original equipment replacement, and then there's NOS, which is new old stock. New old stock means they are parts from 1967 that have sat in a box and survived all along. That stuff is freaking expensive. Nothing on this car I think is original. At this point, I don't care. But it's like 30 or 40 bucks for the entire assembly inside the column for the shift, the blinker light and the clock spring and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, let's go and get back to Phil's car.
You didn't see that.
No, the camera was zoomed in on it.
Man, the internet's gonna know I'm an idiot. As if they didn't already.
I would have it be known that I only hire the finest idiots at Jay's 2 cents. That's the biggest wheel ever, man.
Dude, got about 20 fall. Yay, got the brakes done. Woohoo.
We tried to put my back tires on the front just to see if they would clear, and they rubbed on everything.
Bro, you gotta drive this low, dude. Come on.
I have a wiener. I don't need to go that low.
I have a wiener. I mean, judging by your truck, it might be a little tiny one, though.
So I don't rely on the truck. The driveline's pretty strong. The driveline's shut up! Nothing happened.
So we found out you can shift in a reverse at speed.
And it locks up the tires. That's really bad for the transmission.
Don't do it.
No, here's the problem. It's supposed to have a lockout between neutral and reverse.
Yeah.
And so, if you get into an accident, it's always supposed to go into neutral.
Yeah.
But if you get into an accident, it goes into reverse and you start going backwards. It went into neutral. I was telling him how I got on it, and then the shift kit on this our car transmission is so hard that it jerked the car and it went into neutral, and so it just revved. So I slammed it forward with my hand in the neutral like it should go, but it went into reverse while we were going about 40 miles an hour. The car was all, and then I shifted it back, and then it feels like your engine's off. And then I started it while we were rolling, and we're good now. We were driving the Camaro, and I was explaining how the shift kit shifts so hard that it actually had like flipped the lever into neutral, and so it started revving on me. And I went to demonstrate that to Phil by, while we were about 40 miles an hour, I slapped the shifter forward to go into neutral, and guess what? This transmission will go into reverse while it's going forward.
Yes, it will. That's a normal deal. The reverse lockout's for a normal shifter feature in 1967.
Oh, so that was not a thing.
Yep.
We're gonna have that on my build, right?
Yes.
Because at about 40 miles an hour, it locked up the wheels and killed the engine, and I was like, we were like, what the fuck just happened? So the engine, the transmission, and the rear end survived.
Yeah, yeah, that's but yeah, I told you you're gonna hate that shifter.
Well, my first thought was like, wait a minute, why are the tires locking up in neutral?
At least you didn't get parked.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, I figure if I break the car, I might get an engine faster. So there's that.
Right?
Anyway, you guys heard it from Mike himself, Red Barn Racing. That's a thing. Don't shift into reverse while going forward in a 1967 anything.
Yep. There weren't lockouts back then.
I guess people were less of an idiot back then, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. I'm an idiot. Thanks, Mike. Anyway, we're on our way to a very important errand right now, and we'll show you what that is right now. Let me get number 11. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Do you have a popcorn chicken one? Yeah, number 8. Yeah, they have a 0-calorie slush.
Told you it was an important errand.
So we've taken this muscle car now to In-N-Out, and now we just took it to Sonic.
Those are pretty much that's the trifecta. Well, we need one more.
Yeah.
What's the other trifecta?
No, Farmer Boys Muscle Car Night.
Oh, so Farmer Boys.
Also, once a month has a muscle car meet, and when that starts again, who knows when, this car will make its way there. The cool thing is, by the time it starts again, I'll probably have the 600 horsepower LS built. Yeah, we're putting 600 horsepower to this. I'm gonna try and get all the body mounts and bushes and everything changed first.
The bushes?
Because the British get really mad when I call it bushings.
Oh.
They call it bushes. Bushes are green things that flowers grow on here.
Like that.
I wouldn't drive it like this, but...
It looks like a go-kart.
Wait. Now it's a go-kart for me. So my whole family of 4 could fit in this car. That is impossible in my 2018. The back seat in the 2018 is just for insurance.
Well, I was gonna end this video on us eating, but then we ate too fast because
we're fat.
Jay's playing World of Warships, which means I should probably start editing this video. So.
World of Warships.
World of Warships. How do you want to end it?
Bye.
Okay, bye.